Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, as long as it's all good. Welcome to The House That Happens, sponsored by Shuey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban of Etobicoke, voted 4 times the best dive bar in the GTA. But I'd like to think, as we all do here, that it's probably the best dive bar in the Ontario, because we keep the vibe alive. Hi, my name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
And I want to welcome you to this insidious, iconic, and insane world we call sports. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Cruz. How about yourself? It's been a couple weeks, but we're finally back in the house.
I hope you enjoyed the most sacred day of the year, or the biggest pagan holiday tradition, whatever you prefer to call it. It did get us some time off, and I hope you did enjoy it. But we would be remiss if we didn't have you introduce a most interesting guest today.
Yes, today we have my brother on, Steven. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, this is pretty cool, because now I have 2 of them. And I got to ask you a question, young man, before we start. I know where you live, and I know your nationality. So as soon as you were born, were you told to vote Liberal and cheer for the Leafs? Is that true?
Half of that is true.
Okay, half is true. Okay, I'm not going to say which half. We'll indulge in that a little bit later.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out in a long time. So anyways, people, if you're listening, welcome to The House That Happens. So I have 2 of them today, which should make it far more interesting, because now I have to really dig deep, because the youngins are really good at the equipment. It took us an extra 10 minutes to get on because they couldn't figure out the password. With an old man here. What am I going to say about that?
Wow. I mean, Wi-Fi problems are Wi-Fi problems. If you don't have that key,
then
if there's just some confusion, you're dead.
That's good. But anyways, before we get going, because we got a lot to do, we're going to be splitting up the show today. We thought it would be perfunctory if we said congratulations to
LSU and UConn for winning March Madness, women's and men's respectively.
Oh, it was really good. By the way, Steven, are you a Final Four fan?
Yes, I am.
Good. Who did you pick before? Did you have any idea? Would you have picked any of those teams in the Final Four? We had Connecticut.
I had none of them. I had Connecticut to go fairly far, like to the Elite 8, but not Final Four.
Well, I'm happy about the Connecticut pick, but I'm not happy about the Marquette pick.
Oh, yeah. That was your big dog.
Oh, 100%. I just want to point out, though, that when you think about this college thing, especially congratulations to Connecticut, this is their 5th championship in 25 years. Does that make them, that technically makes them a blue blood? Kind of, sort of?
Yeah, like who else has really like owned this era?
Nobody, but when you think about it now, when they talk about the top championships, it's UCLA, then it's Kentucky, then I did not realize that it's Indiana, and somebody else got 5, and now UConn's got 5. Yep. So that should put them in the specter of, with 3 different coaches too, mind you, because like most of the UCLA ones were one with John Wooden, and Indiana was one with, what's his name? Bobby Knight, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But congratulations to the UConn. And one thing I want to say, Steve, you may not know this because you do know I am old. I've been watching this tournament for 45 years, I would say, approximately. Seriously, especially since the last time Indiana went undefeated was my first big watch because Michigan was in. But I've never seen a team beat every team down like this. Like UConn just bitch slapped every team. Mm-hmm. Like there wasn't like you knew at halftime the game was over.
Yeah, like I thought like Miami would be able to give them a bigger run there in the Final Four, but... Well,
I smelt it when they got to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because Arkansas was a big, rangy, badass team, and I thought, okay, here comes a fight. They just got killed. I couldn't believe it. Which, the only one that we didn't say, and this is the premise of the Final Four, is Alabama had a bad shooting game.
Yeah.
Their gangster had his worst game of the season. I would have liked to have seen Connecticut-Alabama final, but that's apples and oranges. That's what happens in the tournament.
Yeah, I thought Alabama was going to be the team going to the finals. But
I did too. I thought them and Connecticut would have made a better game because I wanted to see if Connecticut would have just crushed them. Because they crushed good teams. They crushed, San Diego. My favorite part of the tournament was when I was already happy with it. Already happened yet? Did they already beat Gonzaga by the time we did the last show? I think it was because I was very happy. I don't like Gonzaga, Steven.
No, not a Gonzaga guy?
Not at all. I can have a variety of reasons, but I'll tell you off the air. Because it's probably more pertinent to put him that way.
All right.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? But I have to give a big shout out to the women's championship and LSU. Don't you agree?
Yeah, that was a fantastic game.
I think in many respects, the women's tournament had a little bit more, I don't know, what would you say? A little bit more, not hype.
Maybe a little bit more pizzazz.
Yeah, was it? And they, especially with Coach, we got a shout out to Kim Mulkey, the coach of LSU.
Oh, that suit she was wearing.
Oh, even in the semifinals and the finals, like back to back to kill it like that. Come on, that was just. And seriously, this is a woman that's coached at Baylor, 3 national championships at Baylor, which I never thought she would leave. You know what I mean? And then she gets the huge money to go to LSU, and within 3 years wins a national championship.
Yeah, insane.
And you know what? There's 2 aspects about the women's thing that has to be. We have to allude to it. We wouldn't talk about it. And first of all, is Caitlin
Clark.
Her performance against South Carolina was unbelievable. And if you do know, South Carolina was undefeated.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we thought we were going to see a generational team. And one girl. I didn't mind. I think we discussed this, or we didn't get to do it. Like here in the house that happens, we're not adverse to trash talk, are we?
No, not at all.
Okay, so
if anything, we encourage it.
Oh, there you go. I like that. Think about that. So there's no reason for we to bring up, even though I think Angela Reese is going to have a great career in the WNBA. And do you know that Shaq called her
The best LSU player ever.
That's a huge mofo statement.
Yeah.
If you look at all the athletes that played at LSU, we got Odell Beckham Jr. right now. You know what I mean? And I don't even know, is he top 10? He's probably top 10.
Yeah, you'd think.
He's probably top. Shaq, I would say, who's bigger than Shaq on LSU? Oh, Pete Maravich played there too.
Oh, true.
We got to remember that Pete Maravich, because
Pistol Pete
Pete played there, so we had a certain amount of LSU. But in any event, we can't wait till next year. Everyone knows that the Final Four is my favorite tournament of the year. I'm going to make a little prediction right now that St. John's is going to rear its head a lot larger than we realize, because
next season?
Yes, because Rick Pitino is now in New York. He's already made shuffle moves on the portal.
Ooh.
Already, his best player from Iona. Already.
There you
He's
go.
already made move, and he's got the Wall Street shuffle money coming in for, what do you call those again? LITs?
NITs.
NITs?
No.
LITs. Likeness and image.
Oh, yeah.
LATs. Well, whatever they call it. When you get to college now, you make
LAs?
money. You get to make money.
Yeah.
Because you hear one guy staying at Duke. One of the guys that could go is staying at Duke
Yep.
suddenly because, and another guy staying
wonder why.
Another guy staying at UCLA one more year. I wonder why. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because $1 million is $1 million, or $500,000 $1 million. You know, you're coming out of high school and you got $500,000 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to buy something more than a Kia. Don't you agree?
You'd hope.
You know, which gets us to the thing that we should be talking straight from the Final Four to what is starting already, because we've had this ridiculous thing called the play-in tournament.
Yes. NBA playoffs.
NBA playoffs. Okay, we've never got to discuss this before, so I'm going to just say, guys, really, what do you think of this playoff? How many years is this now? Is this the third year?
Of this play-in tournament
Yeah,
format, this is the third year.
Third year.
They kind of did like an 8 versus 9 the year of the bubble, but then this is the third year of this incarnation.
This incarnation. What do you guys think of this play-in tournament?
I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's like those teams, like the 7-8, they're always kind of like borderlines. Like play your way in. You add that level of excitement. I don't have a problem with that. Especially like the Western Conference, where there's like a lot of good teams down there.
Okay, it's competition, but I'm still going to go old school once again, because you play 82 games. So 82 games so we can keep in a couple extra losers. Like, just think about this, man. If we didn't have the play-in, we wouldn't have LeBron.
No, he'd still be in the playoffs.
Was he? Did he?
Because they were going to be the 7th seed.
Oh yeah, they were
anyway.
the 7th seed. Okay, I'll give them the bet. Okay, then our Toronto Raptors, who we'll get to in a minute, we would not have been in.
No.
So what value is of the 82 games?
Well, what do you mean?
Okay, so now we have.
Well, you play whatever. You play your whatever to get your spot in there.
Okay, so there's 8 spots. There's 8 spots.
Why can't it be 10?
Because there's 32 teams in the league. We let everybody in. What are they going to give them next year? Appreciation trophies?
I don't know. There's like
here's a good year. Here's your little trophy. You know it's going to be, and they're going to have orange slices on the sidelines.
Oh my God!
Come on.
It's like a few extra games. Come on.
Okay, Steven, this is one thing I hate. Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. This load management bullshit and all the year about the players are so hard done by. Okay, they got more of this. They got to do more of this. They got to do more of that. Then they add on more games so more losers can get in. Shouldn't you have it together at 82 games?
But at the same time, though, they're adding meaningful games at least. So it's good to watch. It's good TV. Like, everyone can get into it. I feel like it's It's an easy win-win. For
Yeah,
everyone.
it's money. Okay,
The
so
NHL should take a page from that
no,
book.
stop that right now. Okay, stop that. We're not going to discuss that. We're going to have issues today. I got 2 of these guys to deal with, and they're agreeing on it because you guys are younger. It's the Flash. Now, don't get me wrong. It was good games. You do have games, and it's one game, and it's got to be done. I always like the immediacy and the competition is. My thing is that if we're talking all season long about, I don't like how long the season is, I don't like the load management, and now you're going to add extra games on to put them on TV to make more money so I can forget about Draymond Green punching somebody in the face, Kyrie not making it with Lewis, because you know what the NBA could really, really stand for when you start talking about this was NBA. On a good day, I could say it could be nothing but assholes. Correct? On a good day. Let's just take
a good day.
On a good day, we can discuss what does the NBA stand for? Nothing but assholes. Okay? Let's get that straight. Now that I've said that, I'm going to tell you why. The playoff tournament is fun. There's no doubt about it. Okay? But you're playing 82 games. Guys are sitting. And then you know what they sneakily did? Andrew, you know what this pisses me off? Because now we did the whole thing. They settled the contract. Very quietly, they noted. Remember, we said we can't wait till the contract because it's coming at the end. They already signed. What does that tell you?
Tells me no changes.
No, they got one thing. You got to play 65 games to qualify.
Oh, to qualify for all NBA or awards or whatever, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are they telling us by very sneakily out of nowhere? Oh, we just signed a contract. Remember we were saying we couldn't wait to debate what they're going to do when the contract came to the table?
Yeah.
What does that tell you is going on? I'll give you opinion. Steve, I'll give you a chance. What do you think? Because they signed the contract so quickly.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? Shall I lead? It tells you they don't give a shit about the fans.
Oh.
Because the owners are in cahoots. They're all in there. They just want the freaking bag. They're gonna raise the TV run there because nobody says anything bad about the NBA. You look at all the sports shows, nobody's really saying anything bad about anything.
No.
Okay? JJ Redick, can I say this? First he went to Duke and I don't like the guy. Okay, so let's see, full disclosure. I heard he just got nominated for some kind of Emmy for his role on TV. What is he doing? Talking about the players? He's always pro players. He's always pro we got to do this. Oh, it wasn't so tough back in the day. And all he does, it seems to me, is to pander to today's players. When he's on there, he's never, anytime he got anything about a fight with Kendrick Perkins about the race issue, and I'm on Kendrick's side for that. But that's a whole argument for another day. Yeah, I'm kind of on Kendrick's side because that's not what's going on. Especially to see if Djokovic wins MVP, we'll revisit that statement, okay? You know what we're getting at, buddy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're not bringing it up because we try to keep up.
I didn't like the Kendrick thing.
Why?
Because he was like, buddy, just come on and say, just try to dance around it. Come on.
Because you're not supposed to say it on ESPN because they're a nice network. But Stephen A can pull the race card whenever he wants.
Yeah.
So where do we get the balance in? Okay, so what's going to happen is...
That's my problem, though. The race card is coming up too much on ESPN.
Thank you. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I'll go with you there. But I'm saying what I was alluding to is why I was picking more than Kendrick Perkins' side is because sometimes maybe I watch it too much. Jay Williams is another guy. They come on, they're so pro player. I'm paying the tickets. You're buying the jerseys. You're buying the TV package, the NBA pass, okay? So who's supporting this? They ever say anything good about us?
That's fair.
Right? Do you ever hear any guy go, oh, I'm really thinking about the fans tonight, like AD and LeBron are sitting. I wish the fans could get a rerun. Do you ever see any of those commentators say that before the game? Hi, guys, are you excited tonight? The Greek freak in Middleton decided to go out with their girlfriends for dinner. They're not going to play. How's your $300 ticket tonight? Come on,
No,
right?
exactly.
Okay, so what I'm saying is our original premise is here, do we like the play-in tournament or not? The house that happens doesn't want to spend too much time on it, but we got a vote of 2-1, first vote of the day that I lose, that the play-in tournament is a good thing. Now, I shouldn't really bash it because I do like the games. I do like some of the games. Now, but look what happened last night. We had a good game and we had a horrible game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's in any sport, though. That could happen good way or another. But before we get to our playoff preview, one of the teams that did play in the play-in was our beloved...
our Toronto Raptors.
Stephen, I don't know if you knew this, but my mouth was so big that I said not only were we going to get in the play-in, we were going to get into 7th place, and we were going to beat the hideous Boston Celtics. So I'm going to have to just eat some crow for a minute here. Whether I like it or not. It didn't quite work out that game. Guys, what happened during that game?
Oh, they puked it up.
Okay, you know what? I'm starting to say, and we're going to get to this later because I live in Toronto forever, so I should have some kind of Toronto in me. But this is starting to be like the history of Toronto. Can you compare this to, let's just put this in perspective now. The Raptors were up at one point in the third quarter late. 18 points, bro.
19.
19. Okay, 19 they were up. And in 6 minutes, they blew it. I say this is compatible to the Seattle comeback against the Blue Jays in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed?
No, and Van Vliet called out basically the team later, basically saying that like there's no killer instinct there, and it's pretty obvious.
Okay, so my first thing is, and
Something stinks.
Okay, so what is it? What do you think's on the Raptors? I say my thing is right now, because we got a lot of things in flux. We're talking about the epitaph. Please keep Fred Van Vliet. I know you're not.
No, but we need him. What other point guard do we have?
Okay, great. So I know earlier in the season you were a little on the fence.
No, we got to keep Fred.
Good. I'm glad your brother got on the bandwagon because I want to check the tapes because I'm not sure if you were so pro Fred earlier.
It was a rough start to the season for Fred, and I wasn't sure. And like there was the pending free agency, which scared me too.
Okay, so I've never jumped off the Fred bandwagon. He'll tell you I'm a Fred. Are you a Fred guy, Steven?
I like him, yeah.
Okay, so of the big four, which guy should we get rid of if we have to give? We have a big four.
I think it's got to be Siakam.
I love your brother. I love him already. It's got to be Siakam. I agree, too, because he's not a Batman. He's a Robin, and I think he's getting in the way of OG, who's not a Batman, is a Robin.
Yeah.
Okay, and Fred's just a floor general. Fred will do what... The reason we did lost the other night wasn't because of Fred or Scotty Barnes. Okay? But I do say this. I think Scotty Barnes has got to take more of a leadership role.
Yeah.
Because you notice sometimes he kind of... Like, he'll have a chance, he'll throw the ball to an Obi, or he'll throw the ball to Pascal. You know what I mean? No, you go for it. You know what I mean? Maybe, because I think he can be a bigger scorer.
I think so, too, but I think that's, I'm going to kind of lead this into another thing. I think that might have to do with coaching. He's being told to give those guys their touches.
Do you think so? So, okay,
Yeah.
let's put it this way. I don't know, but I think Messiah...
Because there's some nights where, like, Scotty Barnes' shooting numbers are, like...
ridiculous.
He's just like not shooting the ball.
And
it's
I go,
like,
what's
how's
going
he not
on?
shooting it
and
more?
a couple times he's gone in there and scrapped the offensive rebound and then throws it out instead of going back up. I don't know. But here, okay, so let's put it this way. Steve, do you think that Nick Nurse is going to be back next year?
No way. No chance.
Who's going to be our coach?
Well, that's the thing.
Some guy we've never heard of.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Okay, in this world, sometimes you got to take the press when it happens, like when Montreal puts Logan Mayu into the lineup, okay? There's going to be a certain amount of stuff, shit you're going to have to take. It's going to hit the fan, right? So why did Masai go out for dinner with Emi Yakuta?
I did hear his name get thrown around in there.
Okay, so why did Nick Nurse get pissed? Your brother was on that first. I didn't know. Remember when you told me to hear about Nick Nurse, and there's a little bit of... He said he shouldn't have talked like that to the press. We already agreed.
Well, there's a report. Well, like it basically came out too that Masai was like, "What the fuck? Why'd you say that?"
Because he found out that he went out for dinner with Ema Yakuta. That's why. So Nick now, because I didn't think Nick Nurse was that kind of guy. But you start connecting the dots. Let's do the House That Happens research with Inspector Clouseau. And I'm saying if it fucking smells, it smells. Come on, bro. You just said something smells.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so and I think Nick Nurse is a good coach, by the way.
Good, not great. His offense can be frustrating to watch.
At times, because I don't think he's consistent with this, but his defense is as good as any. Like he can coach defense.
I agree.
Even
His
though
defense
the numbers
is
are high,
great.
and that should be our calling card. And we were there. We had Chicago locked down. At points in the game the other night, we had Chicago locked down. DeRozan couldn't find space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden we have turnovers. And I love Fred, but Fred, that 1-3 he threw up early in the clock, because you know me, that's one of my biggest pet peeves is when you come down the floor and you're winning and you throw the ball up
The
too
Raptors
quick.
do that way too much.
That's what I'm
I can't
saying. And
stand
so
that.
exactly, you know what I mean? And we had a couple of quick possessions that clanged, then a couple turnovers and a couple of threes. All of a sudden that 19-point that went down to what? Went down to 5 in what? 4 minutes?
Way too quick.
It was, yeah.
Way too quick.
It just went zoom. And to tell you the truth, that's when I got nervous. I had on PVR and I said, oh, I smell something bad going to go on here. So my take on the matter is this. I say that Uma Yakuta is going to be our coach next year.
Let's have it.
I don't have a problem with
Let's
that
go
either,
for
but
it.
I'm just saying.
Let's do it.
Okay, now Toronto being the way that we are and the press that we are, we're always considering Toronto the good. Mm-hmm. Do you think that what kind of backlash do you think is going to go on the city?
If what, like the coaching wise?
Okay, you're going to bring in, what would we call Ime Udoka except for a good coach? What else are we going to call him? Is there any particular reason why he's not coaching on the Boston Celtics? Oh. Come on, guys. Don't we have Steven, isn't that going to come on the table?
It'll definitely be brought up. It's just about.
It's such a fake controversy, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm agreeing. So at the house, we agree. Can we agree on that? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit deal. Okay, but we live in a TMZ world. Okay, we
I
live
know,
in
but
a
like
TikTok world.
I know the way the Toronto sports media is. We're just gonna be like, oh, like we'll just be like happy to have him, you know?
You think so?
I think there'll be like a little bit of talk, but then it's gonna disappear quickly
How quickly?
within the week.
MLSE has good PR people.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
They'll make
Okay,
sure it gets done right.
I like your attitude because I'm saying we got a lot of old school guys out there like that, and if he's this listening, is the Steve Simmons of
Oh
the
my
world
God.
and those guys. The what's his name? The guy Fenzik guy. What's his name?
Feschuk.
Feschuk. These
yeah.
guys will come with their moral standard
don't know,
editorials that'll
if-
be from here to your house. What is Toronto
Do you
thinking?
do you
know
peruse
what
Twitter
this-
at all?
What?
Do you peruse Twitter at all?
No, but I'm going to
Those
say
guys are not taken seriously at all.
That they can't be.
So,
okay, good.
there you go.
Okay, I did not know that. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Hence the reason
Them two and Damian Cox, I think, are
Oh,
like the
Damien's
biggest.
past his best before time because they rode in an era when they had all the juice.
Sure.
Okay, now they don't have all the juice, so all their stupid freaking little takes
Cox
on.
and Simmons especially.
Oh, they're self-righteous little bitches as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Even though I think in that Steve Simmons, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He's taken an edge off lately. Like you guys
Yeah,
don't remember
yeah.
when you were kids. Like that guy's my age, so I've had to deal with him his whole career. And you know where he's a real fraud too, eh? He ran to do that, like Michelle Mandel in The Sun. He tried to do that for a while.
What do you mean?
Like be a reporter, like a special interest, or what do you call those people?
Oh my God.
Like one of those guys, like we'll find an issue and we'll bring the hammer and we'll save the cause kind of guy.
Yeah.
He tried to do that writing for, and people, you guys are too young to notice. I don't forget shit like
Yeah.
that. Okay, so Steve Simmons was doing that. So not to cut these guys up. So when Ime Udoka comes to town at the press conference, what do you think they're going to ask him, bro?
Of course, they're going to ask him about.
But like, I don't know.
Hey, bring in your wife?
Don't you think there's going to be like a MLSE thing, like don't bring that up at the press conference?
How
or-
much control they have? They don't control the sun. They
True.
don't control the star.
They could put that out though, like before, like the press conference. They could say like any questions, like if you ask any
Has to
questions,
be
about it,
basketball related.
yeah, like it won't be answered.
Do you
can do
believe?
that.
Okay, so now it's me. I'm one of the guys in that press room. Do you think I'm going to go by the rules?
They just won't
Somebody-
answer.
There's the
question,
door,
though.
Mr. Cruz.
Oh,
That's
I'm
what they'll say.
tossed. I'm tossed. I'm not good, but I'm going to put it in the air. That's all you got to do. Like my dog almost got skunked the other night. He was right over the skunk. The skunk got away, but there's still a hint of skunk on my dog.
Sure.
Got a little on him. So that's all I'm saying. You get a little smell in the room. It doesn't go away immediately. My take on the matter is just hire the guy and forget about it.
Yeah.
That's off the court stuff. It shouldn't really matter, okay? First of all, it was consenting adults for starters.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that whatever your take on adultery is your take. I don't care. I think that's personal stuff. Okay, that takes away. If you're a good coach, you're a good coach. Now, if you're an axe murderer,
Different story.
okay,
Yeah.
or something like
That's
that, then
something
we
else.
got
Different story.
okay. But I'm saying this is just no, this is an affair, right? He had an affair.
Yes.
Let's call it what it is. So I'm saying now, what effect is that going to have on the Raptors between this next year with the guys in the contract? Fred's definitely he's got the opt-in. It's all about Fred, isn't
Yeah.
it? Unless they renegotiate, it's all about Fred. Fred says, I go on the market or I don't.
Yeah. He's probably going to renegotiate, I would think.
I think so too, because it sounds like he doesn't want to leave town. So here's my take on the Raptors, and I don't know what your take is, Steve, but I'm going to ask you what you think, if I'm right or wrong, or where you go with this. I think the Raptors are really one great shooter away from being I'm not going to say complete contender,
Yeah.
but if they could work in like a Betty Deadeye shooter.
We need another guard.
And another guard. Okay, I'll take. But what if that guard is a Betty Deadeye shooter?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
If we could have the combo, because I'm saying like some of these young guys, and I think it's a dressing room thing, which you said before, something went on in the dressing room because OG didn't seem to be that happy. Okay, it's got
Yeah, I'm like, if I had to bet, it's probably between like OG and Siakam. If that's like the main friction is between there in the locker room.
I agree too. And what's the argument of being okay? OG's had some injury issues, so he has been in the lineup, but so has Siakam. Agreed?
Yep.
Okay, so now when it's going to come down to, I'm going to say this, and you know what I said at the beginning of the season. Siakam's been much better. When he had the bubble, he came out, he had all that attitude problem. I think he's kind of redeemed himself.
Yeah.
This season, okay? But not redeemed himself enough in my book, so the first one's going out the door, I'll send Siakam, okay? You know what I'm saying? And we could get something for him, don't you think?
I think he's got the most trade value for sure.
What do you think we could get for him?
I mean, that's tough.
First rounder? Yeah.
Oh, at least.
Yeah, easily.
Really?
Like, well, it
Okay,
depends
so
on
now
which team, too.
okay, what's a team that? Let's look around the league. Let's say like the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
They could use another stretch wingman because Siakam can't play D.
You could probably get, from the Knicks, you probably get like a first rounder, a player plus.
Okay, so you're on the up and coming now, and you're Oklahoma, and you have 1 million draft picks, and you got 3 of them, and your team looks like on a roll next year, and you got Shea. Could you use a Siakam?
Possibly. Though they're probably going to want to see what they look like with that guy that they took last year in the draft still hasn't played a single game, right?
Oh, right. Okay, agreed. But I mean, well, we'll come into camp. So here's my take on the matter. I think Masai is a very, very smart GM in this way.
100%.
When they had the trade deadline, people came snooping for Pascal and they came snooping for OG, but he wasn't giving them away for last week's newspaper. And they're both still on the team. And somehow we got into it. Like, we played some good ball down the stretch. And then the last couple of games, things blew up on us. And this is a horrible ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yes and no. I mean, they were kind of a middling 500 team down the stretch, though, weren't they?
Kind of, sort of. So you're saying was mediocre? We should have bailed out early and went after the Wambiana thing?
I'm kind of thinking that because, like having Jakob Poeltl on the team was nice, but, like, didn't really do anything.
I'm saying this much, though. It's in the dressing room between, okay, we got a general manager, coach, and a player dynamic that's in flux. How do we tighten that up with the bodies that we have now and add something? Because we got money. We're MLSE.
Yeah.
So, we're not afraid of paying a little bit of tax. You know what I mean? And the Raptors make money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, like, what I'm saying is that how far away of a contender are we then? Is that what I'm saying? How far?
I think we're still ways away.
How far? 2 years? 3 years? I don't want to wait around.
For one, it depends on the development of Scotty Barnes, don't you think?
Agreed, and I think that Barnes should get a bigger role. So you're saying it might be the coaching why he hasn't had a bigger role already?
A bigger shooting, yeah, that's what I would guess, because like his shooting numbers are like way too low.
And he's
like,
still scoring 14 a night.
Exactly.
14, 15 a night. And I agree with that. Take a few more shots and see what happens. Because I'm happy with his defense. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with his energy. And he can bring the ball up the floor.
Yep,
so
his ball handling's fantastic.
Yeah, so I mean, we got all that there. So we know keep him. And I say that you keep Fred VanVleet always because every team's always looking for a Fred VanVleet. Well, what did we just say?
Yeah.
We'd be good if we had one more guard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like some guys in like Siakam and Gary Trent. I think you gotta
bye. Did I say bye yet?
You gotta reassess what you have there.
Bye. No. I tried with this guy. No. He's
last year I thought he'd be pretty good, but this year was just complete.
Yeah, I wanted him
story.
to succeed in Toronto. Honestly,
what's that?
I wanted him to succeed in Toronto. Honestly,
Why? His hair?
No, I just liked him. Like,
what did he do that you liked? Mediocre defense. When he came from Houston, when he came from the Clippers,
Trailblazers.
Trailblazers. When he came there, he didn't even play D.
Yeah.
Well, the big red flag with him started last year come playoff time because he had a horrible series against the Sixers. I don't know if you remember that.
Well, listen, when he's not on, he's not on, so he should sit in the bench. He shoots too much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But then all the Raptors shoot too much when they get shooting happy because that's what happened the other night. They tried to put the game away. Everyone shot and everyone clanged, and look where we're at.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But you'd keep Gary Trent?
No, I wouldn't keep him. I'm just saying when they first brought him in, I was happy with the move. I wanted him to do well here. It didn't work out, so... Yeah,
no, when I see Norm Powell, we gave up Norm Powell for this guy. And I'd rather have Norm Powell back on the team if I had do it again. But I'm not saying Masai's perfect. So now we're going to make it.
Masai's good at asset management, though. So
yes.
I think he's going to recoup.
Yeah. Oh, no,
sure.
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm going, we got money.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think the free agent market is all that exciting this year. Like, who's out there?
No, you got to do it through trades.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, like, we'll be a couple years away, but I think we should keep this core. But I think they're going to have to go in and have a little bit of a huddle and decide.
A little bit of a powwow.
Yeah, and decide how we're going to go. Like, and that means, like, either Nick Nurse is gone. Like, we should be hearing about, by the end of the playoffs, Like, this shouldn't lag on into the summer to the draft or whatever. It should be over. Like, Nick, you're either staying or
Oh,
you're gone.
yeah. Like, and to be fair to him as well, right?
Oh, agreed. And Houston has been a possible suitor.
I think it's very possible that he goes there.
Well, especially with the young squad, and he's good with young players, and he's proved that because he had the balance after bringing in Kawhi, because you got to figure that was a pretty young team, except we did have Kyle Lowry,
Yeah.
who has looked good in the Miami series. I mean, in the Miami
those playing games, yeah.
Like, the
first one especially, like he had like 30.
Oh, he
35
wasn't. It wasn't because of him that they lost that game.
No.
He played great, and last night they put it away. Even though Chicago looked like late there, like Miami had a nice comeback at the end. Because what happened there was, what was it, 8 minutes left? Chicago was up by 5-6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this is going to be. I would have considered that an upset.
Oh yeah, if the Bulls beat them,
If they had beat them like
100%.
that, would have been a failure to your season. But in any event, here at the house it happens. Fred VanVleet, we're hoping that you stay. Scotty Barnes, take more shots. I want to see more play out of Precious. I want to see more play out of Boucher.
Yeah.
I want to see, who else am I missing? I'm missing somebody else. I want to see those guys more in play, because if Gary Trent's not making shots, sit him on the bench. But I don't think Gary Trent's going to be on the team when the season starts.
I hope not.
Okay.
One last thing I want to say is just want to say how pathetic it is how these guys lost that, and then like all the talk is about DeRozan's daughter distracted them from the free throw line. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, as if like you're a
I'm
professional
so
athlete.
glad you brought that up, because then we have to start putting you in what you call the bitch category. Isn't that one of the reasons that Devin Booker made it, because he bitched at, remember the game he bitched at the freaking mascot?
Oh my God.
Remember-
What team's mascot was that?
Ours. It
was the Raptor,
Yeah, it was
okay.
the Raptor.
Right,
Jumped
yeah.
there. Yeah, remember? That put him right in there. So our guys shouldn't be doing that. That's their daddies out there, man. And you do anything that you can win. I didn't hear about that till after the fact, but I thought that bringing it up is weak.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know?
I mean, like, hey, it's kind of funny.
In a way, yeah, I
It-
consider
like,
all the time.
Whatever,
Yeah.
like whatever girls kind of like cheering on her daddy by trying to distract, the plays the free throw line. I appreciate that.
I'm not-
But like
I'm-
using that as, oh, like, what do you mean you're not?
What's that?
What do you mean you're not?
I mean, I have nothing against it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Okay, no, but like, yeah, but using it as like this is why we lost. That's so sad.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
pathetic.
I will agree with that. Like, Toronto, you should wipe that off the chalkboard right now. It shouldn't be brought up. You know why you lost? Because everyone tried to be a hero at the right time, and you all missed your shots. You had, 4 turnovers? Like,
Oh,
in
at the
that
end.
6-minute stretch, they had 4 turnovers and 3
Disgusting.
clanks. You know what I mean? And that's 7 possessions that you gave away, plus the fact that they gave up early in the shot clock. Remember, they
Right,
fired
yeah.
them up? Because OG fired one up, too.
Yeah.
And he clanged. But the worst one I had to say was Fred. Fred should never, if he had made that shot, then they would have went back up by 8. But they didn't.
No,
and
they
then
didn't.
and then Chicago come down, and what's his name? Buddy there, Caruso or whatever his name is, headband boy.
Yeah, Caruso.
Yeah, he sank the 3, and now we're down to 2. And as soon as it got to 2, I just said, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There goes the balance.
In any event, I hope that the Toronto Raptors, you know what, I would like to see the season start with Nick Nurse and Fred VanVleet on the sidelines with Scotty Barnes again. I really would. I would think that the other parts of the team would have to change. I don't know what the dichotomy would be, but I can't see OG and Pascal playing another season together.
Looks very unlikely.
You know what I'm saying? I going that way, which brings us to the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, and that's the NBA playoffs, which start in earnest today at 1:00.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they do.
What do you think is the biggest storyline going into the playoffs?
Oh boy, I mean, like the Western Conference bracket. That's the one I'm focused on.
I think we should be too, because I want to say something right now. I don't think that the Boston Celtics are going to go to the finals, because I think something's going to trip them up along the way due to the fact that they have their own dressing room problems.
How far do you think they go though?
If they get beat by Atlanta, I don't think they should, because they'll have to wreck the team. They should beat Atlanta, but Atlanta.
They should beat them handily.
Oh, they should, but Atlanta's been a little bit of a thorn in their side. If you take their record over the last couple of years, and even during the playoffs, didn't they knock them out the first year that Trae Young was in? Who did they upset? Was
No,
that Boston?
Really?
Trae Young
let me
beat
double
somebody
check
when
that.
their first year. I remember Trae Young beat somebody in the playoffs that he wasn't supposed to beat, right?
Yeah.
Well, they went to the conference finals that season. I remember that.
Yeah.
But that was a much different Hawks team. They lost some key pieces from
Steven,
there.
did I tell you how much I dislike Trae Young?
So they beat the Knicks and the Sixers.
That was that. They beat the Sixers. That's what it was, and they went when they went there. So they're capable of doing it. I'm not saying that they will. I think they got a better coach in Quinn Snyder, but we should have brought this up really quickly about the thing about NBA coaches, not the Larry Bird theory, which is that after you talking to the guys for 5 or 6 years, they start tuning you out. So and then
that's like coaching anywhere.
Oh, well, where you're going. So maybe his Nick Nurse made his run. I don't know. I think we should keep him around because he's got enough young guys that he's with that they haven't heard the message, and him and Fred are pretty tight. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll dismiss that till we start next season. We'll see what the roster looks like. But let's get back to it. The Celtics should beat them handily.
Yes.
So I'm saying no matter what happens in the East, you can tell me about all the fist fights you want. When it gets down to the conference finals, the Milwaukee Bucks will be there.
Yeah.
Bar none. If the Milwaukee Bucks are not there, I will be shocked. Okay? And when they announce it, what is the second round of the playoffs, who the MVP is. And if they don't say it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm going to lose my caca.
Should be him.
It should be. You're damn right. It should be him. However, there should be a voting thing, and we're not going to argue about the Kendrick Perkins, J.J. Redick issue right now. But I'm going to look at your brother Stevens and say, however, if Jokic does win, the Joker does win. Sorry, if Jokic does win the MVP, okay, that's what I'm going to. You know what? I'm going to have some. I'm trying not.
Embiid's going to have a chance too.
Oh yeah, no, Embiid. And I've heard some of the talking heads say they're going to vote for Embiid. Which I think he's credible. If you want to believe that Embiid is a guy, but I think it's back to the history of this whole BS about MVPs. LeBron should have won it more than he did. Jordan should have won it more than they did. You give it to somebody else because there's no because here. Giannis said, Milwaukee's a better team. Why are they a better team? They're a better team because Giannis is on it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
it's too much based on storylines.
Yeah, which gets back to what did I say? Nothing but assholes. NBA, because they do asshole stuff like that. Like, let's just cut to the chase here. Who's better in the league than Giannis?
Nobody.
Okay, there you go. And is Milwaukee not the best team with the best record in the NBA? Mm-hmm. Aren't they a prohibitive team to go to the finals? So does not usually mean you have the MVP on your team? Okay.
Most of the time, yes.
Okay, so if the Cat steals a victory away from Denver, and then I already announced that Joker is the MVP, isn't that going to look weird, guys?
It is, but it's a regular season award. But I think Denver's going to beat Minnesota.
I think it's going to go more games than people realize. Like if that goes 7 games, I'm going to call it right now. Denver and Minnesota go 7 games in my game, and then people will finally be able to. They'll talk more about my boy Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He definitely deserves more attention.
100%. I mean, Cat gets it all, and then there's a Gobert issue, which I hope the team has got it all together on that. But does your brother understand this? We have certain players that, I do. Maybe not that you don't say bad things about in the house. One of them is Ja. We got over the Ja issue, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And Anthony Edwards is one of our boys, and Shea.
Yeah.
And Shea's gone, but whereas the other case is we got no time for Luka, we got no time for Trae. Okay, you know what I mean? We draw a line here in the house.
Yeah. I like Luka.
What?
I like Luka. You know that.
I'm not going to even go there. Okay.
His team did him dirty by trading for Kyrie. That was disgusting.
Yeah, but he was the one that didn't play. He was the one that was out of sorts. Everybody said he was the guy that couldn't figure out what to do. Kyrie said they could have won a couple games if the ball was in Kyrie's hands. And then they waited too long.
But they got worse on defense, though.
You know what? What's his last name again?
Who?
Luka.
Doncic.
Oh, it should be Joncic because there's no D in that guy's game. Stop it. Come on. When does he play D? So, and Kyrie, who plays a modicum of D. So you're going to say the team got worse defensively because
they traded their best defender away.
Okay, they traded 2, actually. Oh. Those 2 wing guys, which are pretty good defenders, which just tells you about how valuable wing defenders really are.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think we should keep OG.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We should keep OG over Pascal all day. I have no issues with that. And he might even end up being Defensive Player of the Year, but I don't think he'll get the votes because we didn't get in the playoffs. Because usually that's where, you know what I mean, you got to be able to move your team a certain level. But he's going to be top 3, and he's going to get a bonus. Because he probably has something in his contract that's going to say, if you're top 3 in the voting of...
you get a little bump.
Yeah, $100,000 or something, $100,000. I'm talking like $100,000's nothing. Give me $100,000 right now, I'd have an erection. Come on, stop it. In any event, I think that we shouldn't even be talking about Lukic and Kyrie. You're not in the playoffs. So let's just wipe them off the schedule.
Well, you brought him up.
I mean, I didn't mean to. Okay, so it was my faux pas. But I'm saying, okay, when we get back to the narrative, we're talking about the Joker. I think the Joker can be beat by Minnesota. That'll go 7 games.
Do you want to just start doing our picks for each series then?
Yes, let's go down the
So
line.
let's go Denver, the number 1 versus the number 8 Minnesota. I have Denver in 6.
What are you saying? I'm writing this down, Steven, so you'll be on record as saying.
I'm going to say Denver in 7. I could see that one going the distance.
Okay, I like that. Okay, we got 2 7s.
I think
Well,
what's
we're
going to
all
be the
taking
difference is
Denver.
Denver's home court advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you're
Minnesota's a
saying
good
6,
road
okay?
team, but stealing one in Denver is going to be tough.
Okay, so now let's get to the most one. We'll save that one to the end because it's just so juicy. So we have number 3 playing number 6, which I think in the first time in a long time, this is a really, really good first round thing that either one of these teams could win it all. But we got to ask questions. Paul George out
Sacramento
there?
versus Golden State?
Oh, no, I meant the other one.
4-5.
4-5.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, well, we should get okay. The 3. Who do you think that Golden State's going to beat Sacramento?
Oh, man, this is the toughest one to call. We've alluded to this before. I mean, it's going to come down to, can Golden State steal the road game? Because they're such a bad road team, but they're such a good home team. You know, that's the weird dichotomy that we're dealing with here.
Okay.
And it's just like awkward with Golden State. I don't have them winning the series, but I think they can make it very interesting.
You don't have them winning the series?
Sacramento in 7.
Steve, what are you saying?
I actually do have Golden State winning, and it's just because I think that like their team, they've been there before, they've got all the rings, and I think that that's gonna come through in the end. So I got them in 6.
Ooh, this guy's bold. That means he's going to have to win more than one road game.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so full disclosure, because he doesn't know what I think about Golden State. I hope they get knocked out in the first round. I hope they're gone.
I hope so, too.
Me too, because I'm tired of their whole game.
I mean,
and you know why?
I would love for that too, but I just think that they come through in the end, unfortunately.
I'm afraid that they're going to come through in the end, too, because of Sacramento's sheer inexperience. Sorry, Andrew. I hope that Sacramento beats them in 7.
Don't
I hope
apologize
he's
to
right.
me. I'm not Kings fan. That's okay.
Okay, but I'm back to the Weber Bibby. They got stolen by the Lakers back then. My question is this. Did you hear what Michael Jordan said about Steph Curry last week?
No, I
And
missed
one of the
that.
reasons why he's selling team?
Let's hear this.
He says that Steph Curry ruined basketball.
Wow.
And he said that that's part of the reason that he wants to get out is because he can't really look at the game anymore. And he's tired of people like, I'm not saying J.J. Redick, but he's talking about like people don't understand how the game has changed, and it changed necessarily for the good. Now, you guys are younger, so you didn't see the glory days of the 80s and 90s, which I loved, but that's another story. You know what my take is on Steve Curry?
Steph Curry.
You know what my take is?
He's the best and worst of basketball.
The best and worst of basketball, and I agree with that. Because the problem is, and we had a little show about this a while ago, Steven, is this. There's only one Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Yep.
The problem is you got a bunch of mofos coming in the league trying to be Steph Curry, and we get bad basketball.
Including
because,
bitch number 1.
we don't even have to bring his name up. There you go. I'm trying not to just drag a guy's dick in the dirt all the time. But there's an Exhibit A, and there's 5 or 6 other guys around the league like him. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? I'm glad Shea's backed off on that a bit because Shea got a little bit...
Well, he's not a shooter.
No, but he because he developed his game. When he first came in, he was firing the ball up all the time because who else was on OKC?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he refined his game because he's Shea and Steph is Steph. You know, getting back to that, that's what I'm thinking. So
Yeah, the Warriors they're an anomaly because like
Yes.
they have 2 of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time.
Of
Like who else
all
can say that?
time.
Who else can say that?
And-
Nobody.
And you had a very, very, even though who also made our bitch list, Draymond Green, they had a very good defender on the floor, a wing defender who could lead that way, and a couple
Who can make some plays too.
Yeah, and good
Which is a
role
very unique
players.
team.
Yes, with Steve Kerr coaching that way. So, like historically speaking, in 10, 15 years, we'll be still talking about this era of the Golden State Warriors.
Of course, they're a dynasty.
Thank you. You know what I mean? The way they've changed it. But if they go out in the first round, but I'm thinking that they're not going to get beat to the second round. So I'm going to go with you, and I'm going to say that Golden State's going to win that. Which brings us to the series of the Clippers
And the Suns.
and the Suns.
boy.
First of all, we got to say this. We got another guy that's a little bit bigger than his britches at time, who used to be my favorite player, Kevin Durant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did I wear my shirt one day? I think
You told me about this. I don't know if you've ever worn it.
I've worn it. Anyways, once upon a time, Kevin Durant, when I seen him in Texas, which in this year, by the way, Andrew, the March Madness, remember say there's guys that jump out at you in this tournament, except for the guy that's the gangster guy in Alabama. Nobody jumped out at me. I see a lot of solid guys that are going to be good NBA players, but did I see that
Star.
Kevin Durant? Did I see that John Morant? Did I see this guy? No, I didn't see any of those guys. I just seen a whole bunch of guys I seen a bunch of Scotty Barnes. That's not a bad thing, because Scotty Barnes could still be a superstar. Because once you draft him, you know what I mean, like that kind of deal. But anyways, so I'm saying Kevin Durant has not lost since he's played in the lineup at Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can't see them losing. Even though I love Kawhi and I would rather pick the Clippers. I'm saying
it's going to be a tough matchup, but I think, no, I'm with you.
I think that the Phoenix is going to take care of it a lot quicker. I think Kawhi is going to have big games. I think Kawhi is going to have those like 32, 15, 8 games, and they lose like 108 to 102. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it's 6 games and the series is over. Because I believe that the Clippers are going to win a game at home.
They should.
They should. I think they should win. What do you think it's going to be? I'm going to say I don't think it goes past 6 games.
I don't think so either. I think there's Suns in 5.
Even I wouldn't be surprised. Paul George, is he playing? I heard he's going to come back.
I heard so too, but
exactly. You know what I'm saying? What are you saying there, Steven? Do you think it's going to be who are you liking? I want to see Kawhi win. I'd prefer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think though, this one it is a tough one to pick. This one, I think. But I do think in the end, maybe like I'll say Suns and
more than 5, more than 6.
See, that's the thing. I can't decide 5 or 6.
You sound like every guy I've seen on TV this week that brings that series up. They stumble. You ever hear it? I've been watching a lot of the shows. Everybody's stumbling over this series because you know what they're saying. Like when you see Kawhi, do you see Kawhi playing down the stretch? He looks like classic, classic Kawhi. And you know what? The Clippers are deep. They're way deeper than Phoenix.
It's true.
So if they could beat him, like they're saying they beat him up. But the thing is, Paul George got to be playing, and Paul George got to be playing at 90% Paul George.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people don't realize this. It's not just the fact that they got Durant and they're undefeated. Booker, who's on our bitch list too, he gets more looks because of Durant on the court. Chris Paul, who another guy that I bashed for years, who I still say is still a top 5 point guard of all time.
Oh yeah.
And I think the sleeper on that team is Ayton. They got the big rim protector guard guy.
They got you covered at all angles.
And they're not necessarily their bench is as deep as the Clippers, but I think those 4 they're going to be front
They'll carry
runners.
them.
They're going to be carrying them. So Kawhi, I'm going to say bye. So we're all taking the
Phoenix Suns.
We're all taking the Phoenix Suns to go on, which brings us to the series with the most narrative. And that's the Memphis Grizzlies against the LA Lakers. Doesn't it sound like a bad soap opera from the 70s? Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Memphis Laker soap opera featuring the man who was swinging the gun around the strip joint with a guy that said he went to the LeBron of foot doctors. Like, think about all the shit they're talking about this series. I am all about representing Mississauga. I work in Saga. I'm a Saga guy. Saga represented by Dylan Brooks saying, can we get LeBron out of the way? Isn't that a great line?
I love it.
Oh, I just love it. And you know what? I'd like to see LeBron around too, because you know I'm kind of a LeBron guy. And nothing against him. But I'm tired of this whole Lakers stuff. Like, the sooner we get rid of the Lakers, the better. And if LeBron does beat Ja, which is going to be the 2 main guys they talk about, you know what I'm saying? What are we going to hear? We're going to have to hear more about the Lakers saying make the run. But I am saying this. When AD and LeBron are on, with D'Angelo in that backcourt right now, these guys are going to be tough to beat at any time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what Carly is. I'm a John Morant guy. Mm-hmm. So I want Memphis to go all the way. Another reason I want Memphis to go all the way is because they're a small market team. Small markets teams don't get respected as much as they do in the NHL. Like, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, the NBA doesn't respect those, take the money. And sometimes they treat Toronto like a small market team when we're not. Okay?
100%.
But the NBA got no time for small market teams. Do you hear Mr. Stephen A. Smith talk about Milwaukee? Huh? It's brutal. Like, I mean, he's supposed to be number one sports
Yeah.
basketball pundit in North America. He doesn't even want to fly to Milwaukee. Like, come on. And you're saying this on national TV?
Oh, yeah.
That's why I hope the finals will be like, I would love the finals to be what? Milwaukee and Memphis?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This
Okay,
series
okay,
here,
wait.
Memphis versus LA, what are we thinking?
I'm thinking 7 games. Memphis are going to win at home. I think they're going to wear him down. I would even be more confident if Brandon Clark was in the lineup, but he's not. He's got the Achilles. So the biggest thing is about how they're going to defend AD, and they've only got Jared Jackson and a big white guy because Steven Adams isn't going to play.
No.
But you know my caveat about the Memphis Grizzlies, correct?
What's this?
An NBA team.
Oh, but them going to the finals, yeah.
There's never been, Steven, I don't know if you know this, there's never been an NBA team that's won a championship or gone to the finals without having a player over 30.
Oh, yes. That's right. You mentioned that the other day.
Yes. So they're not, there's,
Interesting. That's
isn't it? And I looked and Steven Adams isn't even 30 till July.
Yeah.
So the playoffs would be, even if he comes back, which it doesn't look like he is. Do you put any credence in that?
I mean, I think you have to.
Well, look what we did to Sacramento.
That's one round we're talking
only,
about, though.
Okay, agreed. But you're the only one that's given Sacramento. You're saying they're going to win in 7.
They've been a very impressive team all year.
Oh, I love them. I hope they win. I love. If they went to the finals, I would love it. Because I don't think Denver. Because in the second round now, if things go to play, that means Denver's going to play Phoenix. I don't think Phoenix is going to. I don't think so. That means Sacramento would play Memphis if we're all going here, and I should think there. So I think Memphis could beat Sacramento because that'd be kids on kids. Which opens the door for the Phoenix finals just because we're talking about the experience.
That's exactly where I'm thinking. It's gonna go.
That's how the dominoes are going to fall? Well, we're saying this on the first day of the playoffs at the house that happens. Can we concede that the dominoes may fall that way?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, for this series, though, I would say, I think I'm taking Memphis in 7.
Memphis in 7? We're all going
Same.
for Memphis?
Grizz in 7.
I just want to know what the trash talk is going to be on the floor. Like,
Oh,
we got
buddy.
some monumental people out on the floor that got shit, except AD never trash talks, which I
Never.
think he should be doing, right? But, I mean, you got Dylan Brooks. Ja doesn't say a lot, but they say Ja talks low. But he talks in the court, which is great to hear. Bane is the guy, the shooter, the other guard on Jared Jackson ain't afraid.
No.
He's going to be saying some stuff, you know what I mean? And it's going to be banging. I'm going to say, like, if they don't get into foul trouble, because if AD goes off, he's going to be, because in my opinion, LeBron is LeBron, but I say as they're playing right now, the best player in that series is AD, and I'm a Ja guy. But Ja's still got that nagging little whatever's going on with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's supposed to be. If Ja's at 100%, I'll say he's the best player in the series, but I'm not sure he's 100%. But if AD's 100%, do you see him playing down the stretch?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's been phenomenal.
Oh,
that whole team's been rolling.
Exactly, and they play defense now. And here's an interesting stat, guys, which I meant to make up. Like, where does this go? Memphis has been a top 5 defensive team all year. Top 5 defense. By the way, the Lakers have been a top 5 defensive team since the trade deadline. Something's got to break there. Do you think so? We're still going to get low-scoring games? Does that mean when we go to our BET bets on our phones, we all put the under?
Maybe.
Do we bet the unders? Because we got to, here at the house that happens. We got to start throwing out some bets. But you know why I don't? Because you see how betting's everywhere, by the way?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I can't
Like
get away from
when
it.
I was your guys' age, man, you couldn't say bet in sports. You'd be suspended.
Oh, yeah. Like back in the day of Jimmy the Greek. They had to kind of dance around it.
Exactly. He was the first guy that said point spread on national TV.
Yeah.
Okay, think about that. And that's just, that was in the late 70s. But in any event, that's as far as you could talk about it. They barely bring up the spread. Now you can't turn on my phone. If I'm researching stuff on Google about sports, and I just put MLB or NBA or NHL, bang! Gambling's right there with the pretty girl in the dress. You could win. You know what I mean? I love the subliminal of selling on that. Another thing we were to get to very soon, too, because I got to ask your brother about this, Andrew, is that I have a little issue with, we'll bring it up with baseball, because have you watched an MLB Network lately?
No.
Okay, we're going to
We'll bring that up later. Let's move on to the Eastern matchups.
Okay. I'm saying right now that I'm going to take Milwaukee automatically to win. They're just going to crush. They're going to roll. So I'm just going to say the Domino will get to the finals. So
them versus Miami, how many games?
Oh, I think it's over quick. No, I don't think it's a sweep because they'll go down to Miami. You got Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler on the floor and Tyler Hero and Bam and those guys. They're going to show up. You know what I mean? They might even make it a series, but they can't. That would be one of the most monumental upsets you would see. It has happened though. An 8 beating a 1 in the NBA is not. It's
happened.
Yeah, it's happened more frequently in the NBA than it's ever happened in the NHL. Mm-hmm. I know that. Remember the famous Knicks run about 15 years ago, Latrell Sprewell and Hardaway.
Yeah.
They beat who in the first round? I forget, Boston or somebody, and went right to the finals. They were at 8.
Yeah, in 99, right? The lockout year.
Yeah, that's right. They went right to the finals, which was crazy. You know what I mean? You're an 8 seed, you get it in there. That's why I don't like another reason I don't like to play in. Either you're in or you're out.
Well, there's the one I remember is Golden State beating Dallas 07, I think.
Yeah,
06,
that was monumental too, right? Yeah, I'm going. How did that happen? You know what I'm saying? So it could happen here, but I'm not calling on it. Not at all. I think Milwaukee. I'm already saying prohibitive NBA champion.
I say Bucks in 5.
Yeah, Bucks in 5.
Well, we're all good with that. Okay, Bucks in 5. Where are we going next?
Boston versus the Hawks. I think this is a Boston sweep.
Yeah.
Whoa! I got 2 brothers here telling me it's a sweep, so I'm going to bet a pint it goes 6.
No.
If it goes 6 games. Okay?
I'll take that bet.
Okay, so we're all on. We're all on for Rickers. Sure. I'll say it goes 6 games. Because you know what? You know who I'm going to say the X factor is in this series? Quinn Snyder.
The coach?
The coach. This guy's he's a great situational moment, like in the moment coach. He's really, really good. I think he just got sick of Utah. He was there too long because I can't believe when Utah let him go. And then the whole team blew up. Like everybody left town or whatever. Well, that's another story for another time because Danny Ainge's going to bring them all the way back. But I say Quinn Snyder is going to be the difference in them winning 2 games. But I do believe that Boston will win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Boston's going to go in there. So what do we got next?
The number 3 versus 6, Philadelphia versus the Nets.
Come on. That's going to be the sweep.
I think it's a sweep.
That's going to be the sweep right
sweep
there because
written
the Nets are not the team. They got dismantled. You remember? And if they had this whole team all season, they might have been a play-in team.
Don't have an answer for Embiid either. Which is their biggest problem.
It is. You know, they're like in a weird way Raptors light because they don't even have a Fred VanVleet. They just got a bunch of wings running around that can play defense, and that's about it. So I don't see them doing anything to get us anywhere, so to speak. You know what I mean? So goodbye, New York Nets. I face for the fans of Brooklyn. You know what I mean? I'm saying I feel sorry for the fans of Brooklyn. After the last 2 years, all the opportunity and the big hype, and where are they now? I'm telling you, if they had this team at the beginning of the season, they'd be a play-in team, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I thought they were going to fall into the play. I mean, good for them for hanging on to that 6th seed. But
I agree there. Oh, by the way, Steven, if you look, we got the proprietor walk by. Please address that sweatshirt with respect. If you know that, I'm not going to say what it is. We'll discuss that later at a later date. But I'm just letting Serge, you know how I am about this stuff. Serge Singh in the house. Did you go down to see the rock pile last night? Did you go? I should have. I knew it.
The best performance ever.
You're kidding.
Damn,
I missed a good one last night. I should go. But anyway, we're on our show. Let's not talk about this. It's going to make me angry because people came and picked me up and interfered. That's a little thing we talk about music here, but we're going to get away with that. I think that, as you're saying, we're talking about the Nets.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Like you said, they might not even have made the playoffs. I think. And I'm proud of them, like you said, because they didn't fall the way out to the thing. But I think they got 4 games left in. Thanks for coming out. Mm-hmm. Which brings us to
Cleveland versus the Knicks, which is
the mecca of basketball. I think this could be the most entertaining series.
Well, that's where I was going. This is going to be the best first-round matchup in the East. Probably in the whole league.
In the whole, I think it's going to be the best of all because we do have the Clippers. The only one that competes with is the Clippers and the Clippers Phoenix.
I don't know. The Memphis Lakers
and,
series.
Okay, but I still say in the long run, that could be too because it's it's a storyline. It's LeBron. Yeah. But let's just think about sheer competitive value now. Cleveland against the Knicks, the mecca of basketball against Cleveland. And what's the line we've heard all year? All that they had to do was move AJ Barrett. What's his name?
RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett, and they could have had Donovan Mitchell at the Madison Square Garden. That's what it's basically boiled down to.
And who are they playing in the first round?
Oh, my God. You know what I want to see? I want to see Stephen A. Smith have a baby on national TV when Cleveland bitch slaps the Knicks. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be kind of cheering for the Knicks in this series.
Really?
Yes, because I'm about the old school New York Knicks. They're basketball. They're like that Rutgers Park. They're about Rikers Island and all that old school basketball stuff, which it wasn't happening in your guys' lifetime. Like what the Knicks have done. You know what I mean?
Not much.
But at the same time, I have a huge respect because earlier in the year, I like Garland. Remember how much I was talking up Garland, another young player? I really like Garland. I really like the way the Cleveland team is built. Like, they're built a lot better. They've got Mobley in the middle.
Yep. I'm a big Donovan Mitchell fan. So.
And Donovan Mitchell there, and Garland, like maybe arguably the best backcourt in the NBA. Best starting, whatever. And they got a few other shooters on Cleveland, and they play defense, and they're well
They're the
coached.
stingiest team in the league.
I was just going to say, they play great defense, and they're all hands-on players. They're all mobile. They work well. So what's your call? Who you're saying to win?
Cleveland in 6.
Cleveland in 6. What are you saying there, Steven?
I got Cavs in 7.
And Cavs in 6, Cavs in 7. I'm taking the New York Knicks on principle, Game 7. Julius Randle hitting a shot to win. and Jalen Brunson to steal the ball from Donovan Mitchell. You hear what I'm saying? This is going to be huge. It's in the, by the way, Cleveland's a home team, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So wouldn't that be amazing if they stole the ball 1 in 6? I'm taking the New York Knicks with all the things.
And how many games? 7?
Going to take them 7, but they're going to do it. Let's go for the New York Knicks, just because they are the mecca of basketball. And I hope everybody tunes in. The games do start today, don't they?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. We're
Sixers
going to go
and Nets.
which is I'm glad I'm going to be walking my dog during that series because it's probably going to be equally entertaining. You know what I mean? Now, we're running a little late here, but I'm not going to let anyone go away unless we have to seriously talk about guys that were here. And this is the start of the Major League Baseball.
Hold on. Finals picks for NBA.
I'm picking Milwaukee and Phoenix.
I'm with you. I've been saying that for a few
I know
weeks
you
now.
have. I know you have. As soon as I give you credit, as soon as they got Durant,
game over.
Your brother called Milwaukee. So the house that happens is we're going to put a little bet on, and we're going to say that we're looking at the Phoenix Suns against the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals.
Yeah.
I personally, Cruz, am hoping for an M&M final. Because I'm cheering for the
Memphis.
All the way. Small market, young team, doesn't get enough respect, too mouthy, trashy as hell, and they're going to knock people on their ass and they don't give a shit. And they're going to prove in Memphis that Elvis is really dead. It's the Memphis Grizzlies that are alive. You know what I'm saying? In any event, even though we're running a little late here, we've had a lot to say. We would be remiss if we don't take a little time here to discuss our beloved Toronto Blue Jays.
Off to a pretty good start this season, I'd say.
I would say I'm not at all, even though that's the craziest thing to do, to have a 10-game road trip to start your season.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Because of the renovations at
Yes, which is
Rogers.
okay because I'm dying to get down there now.
I'm going tomorrow.
Good for you. I want to go down there. And you know what? I'm going to start sitting in the 500 level for $1,800 because you can walk down the road and sit in the bar.
There you go.
So I'm kind of...
You got to get there quick, though. It looks like those spots fill up fast.
It is, but you go in the afternoon. But it's, you know what? Even if you're up there, and it's like they got screens there, obviously, and you're in the park, so you're going to be in the thing. But in any event, anytime you go 6-4 on the road, okay, so I'm going to give you a quick assessment of what I'm thinking about the Blue Jays, and I want you guys to chime in to see where we're going to go with this. Okay, before the season started, I'm always about a guy that wants to talk about quality starts is going to make your season. I don't care what anyone says. I'm a big bitch about it. Steven, he'll tell you about how many innings that pitchers pitch. I'm huge on like what we're going to get out of it. So I'm looking at our starting rotation. I'm going to say 6-4 on the road to start your season. If they play 6-4 for the rest of the year on the road, Andrew, you good with that? That percentage on the road?
I'm pretty good with that.
I'm 100%.
That's a great
going with
road
that.
record. Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. So we're going to start with, that's the road record we're going to deal with. But the thing is now that you're going to have to play I want you to play 600 ball at the Rogers Center. I want the home field advantage. Now, here's where it came out right away.
It's going to be packed, so it's like there's no excuse.
Oh, plus the lines and the hitting. Okay, and we got guys like I'm going to get to allude to in a second. But one of the things that reared its ugly head last night in a good way is Barrios. Can't pitch on the road, comes home, gives you 5, we win. And he's did you see his line from home to away? I don't get it. He's like the Golden State of starting pitchers, home and away.
We got the relief pitcher that way too with Romano. So
Well, I'm going to get my theory on Romano right away, okay? Not that he's Italian. I won't take that away from him, okay, guys? I won't throw that in there. But my theory on him, and I think I discussed with you, I'll get to a second. But anyways, I'm saying they have to play this level. Don't you agree? If they're going to be a 6-4 road team, we can accept that. Because that's above 500, and we're good. On the road in the M. But what do they got to play at home? Almost 600 ball. You think?
Yeah.
Does that equate the division championship?
Should.
I agree, don't you think? So right now, it's only a small sample size. And here's another one of my theories, Steven. As I was telling him, I went to the Sparky Anderson School of Baseball. You know who Sparky Anderson is?
No, I don't.
Okay, you teach him later, okay? One of the greatest managers in the history of baseball. In any event, and he won a World Series with a team in both leagues, which is very rare for any manager to do. Anyways, everything at the start of the season he used to say, and Andrew, you seem to agree with me on this now, is that when you think about it, win 20 games before you lose 20 games. That should be your credo to start. So, you know, and if you get to 20 and 20, if you're 20-20, then you get to assess. That's a quarter of the season. So you get to assess where you're going to establish yourself right now. So we're the 9-5 Toronto Blue Jays, correct?
Yep.
I was on record as saying, and you guys are my witnesses, that we would sweep the Tampa Bay Rays when they came to town. Do you see who Tampa played?
Oh,
They played me and you.
Yeah.
Then they played my sisters and their new dog, and then they came to Toronto. So what do you expect? Even though I think Detroit's a lot better than they showed.
The Tigers?
The Tigers are. I got Tiger Love in me. Okay, I grew up. Sparky Anderson was Detroit Tiger. General was a coach at the time, so I got to throw that in there for historical reasons. That's my Christopher Russo moment. In any event, I think that who they play? Washington, Boston, and Detroit to get this record. Come on. Right now, and I'm sad to say, Detroit's got better pitching and showing, but those guys are all going to be out of it by All-Star break.
Yeah.
All three of those teams are going to have no chance.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Oh, Boston, I think they're locked to finish dead last in AL East. Detroit's still nowhere. Sorry, Cruz.
But their pitching looked okay. Like, we stole the game from them.
How about their hitting?
What hitting?
43 runs. There you go.
What hitting? Okay, so
43 runs scored on the season so far.
Oh
for
my
Detroit.
God! It's just, and you know what scares me though is, and you know what, Steven, get to know me. I hate analytics. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's one number that's already scaring me. Tampa Bay. Do you see their run differential already? Now I think it has to do with the fact that the quality of teams they played.
Oh, then just getting on a win streak will do that.
Okay, but this is this is historic win streak, bro. This is historic.
Tied for the longest to start the season.
So what do you think they're going to be able to sustain, Tampa Bay? Because it's going to be our number one competition. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. What do you think they're going to be able to sustain, the hitting or the pitching? I think they'll sustain the pitching, which is going to be more important.
But you brought up pre-show, the starting pitchers.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to get to that too. So what do they do? Is it going to be the same game they play where they're going to ride 6 starters? Because like I said, my theory is they started 7 guys already.
That's insane.
Isn't it already? They've got a 13-game streak. They started 7 guys. So guess what? We're going to rake the guy today. You know, because they took him out to Toronto. Who's the starter today?
Let's...
Because the big game is on Sunday.
Oh, that's what I'm
And there
going
you're
to.
at.
Manoa versus McCann.
Oh, yeah, that's just a marquee thing. Now, could I throw it there? Alex, if you're listening very closely, you're too fat.
Foucher is starting today for Tampa Bay.
Okay, and he's only had one quality start, hasn't he? How many innings he's pitched? He's only pitched 9 so far, right?
He's only pitched 6 innings.
Or whatever, yeah. So here he comes in, and he's going to come into the Dome at Hitters Park after they got bitch slapped last night. I say we win bigger today. Because who do we have? We have the Korean.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to hopefully pitch better at home than he does on the road. Even though we got to give him a start, we can't knock the Korean yet. He's from Korea, isn't he?
Yep.
Okay, so we can't knock him.
Oh, no. No, he's Japanese, actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. He's the.
We've been calling him Korean this whole time.
I thought he was Korean. Okay, Japanese land of the rising sun. How many innings he pitched? 9, right?
He has
9.1.
9.1 innings. So that means your starter's got to pitch 5 every time out. But he did okay for us on there. So this afternoon, expecting 5 out of him.
Yeah,
because
man, I'm looking at our starters' WHIP and ERA to start the season. Besides Gosman, it's a disaster.
What?
Besides Gosman, it's a disaster.
Okay. So now I'm pointing that out there. This is what's making me nervous. Okay, the bullpen's saving us. So what are we going to do? Run the arms till they die? Now, what happened the other night in the LA thing when we got Romano in when he got rocked?
Yeah.
Okay, why? The guy's been out there every day. Romano, what weighs my size? He's about my size.
Yeah.
So this is why I say I like Eric Swanson around. You see Eric Swanson? He's a body bigger.
Yep.
than Romano. So sometimes I'm thinking like every one of those times we can let Eric Swanson close. Now I like Garcia a lot too, even though he gave up the back-to-backs last night out of nowhere. But I think that he was just throwing strikes because he had the 5-run lead.
Yeah.
And they hit the back-to-back and then they just shut it down. It was game over. You know what I mean?
Like Swanson, Pop, and Garcia, I think I've had, and Simber too, have all had fantastic starts to the season.
That's why I'm saying, but my theory is like I said, I want the quality start. So if you talk of the first 14 games and you look with them, which again we had last night, we've had more quality starts than Tampa or New York. And I don't even know how New York's got the wins that they have been pounding the ball, because check their pitching stats right now. Let's go, someone pull up the Yankees pitching stats. If they had a quality start, yes, they've had 3 with Cole. Cole's been unbelievable. But outside of him, what do they got? Their guys are all over the place. Like I'm telling you, their pitching's not, and they're hitting. They got the short porch in there. They're going to have to be a 600 team at Yankee Stadium for them to compete.
Yeah, Nestor Cortez is the only other guy with a quality start there. He's just got 1 on the season.
And what? They're all their starters that pitch what 8-9 innings too. So they pounded the ball. And because their run differential is pretty good too, aren't their run differential about a +20? Because we're only 3 or 4 because we've had a lot of tight games. But that's okay.
Yankees are +18.
Yeah, okay. Well, because they just got smacked last night. They lost by 5 or 6 last night, which just tells you again. And who did they play last night? Boston, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
Let's look at the scores. Yeah, they looked. I'm not. Okay, it's too soon in the season.
Oh, they lost Minnesota.
Minnesota. Oh, and Minnesota.
They're a pretty good ball club.
Yes, they are. We'll get to Minnesota in a minute. Like, okay, yeah. I want to talk about that. But right now, we're at a 50, about what? We played 14 games. So basically today is 15 games, which is only 1/10 of the season, guys. So that's really nothing. So that's how we're assessing the situation of Toronto. I think the starting pitching will get better.
I am hoping.
100%. Alex Manoah's too fat, guys. Come on. You see him on the mound? Sorry, Alex, I don't mean to fat shame you. And that's why, so you got to lose a few pounds. He hasn't lost a thing, but you know what? His timing's off. His rhythm's off. Okay, and why is the rhythm off? Because you're too fat. Doesn't he look too big to you?
Compared to last year? Or what?
Oh, he's big. He's too big. He's put weight on. Go look at a film last year. And I love the guy. He's my, by the way, I'm only saying this as a nice guy. Nice to be. I love Alex to death. I was a Cy Young guy from last year. I was screaming. Remember All-Star break? Alex for Cy Young. I love the guy. But he's a little bit out of shape. That's all I'm saying. And look at him, and he gets too revved up. Yeah. He's throwing way too many. Look at his base on balls already. What's he throwing? 15 and 3 starts?
11.
11. Okay, that's way too many.
I'm starting to agree with you that we probably should have started Gausman opening day.
Yes, okay. You know what I mean? But, I mean, Manoah deserved it because of the Cy Young nomination.
Sure.
Okay, so we respected that, don't we?
Yep.
Okay, so what do you say? Steve, our starting pitcher going to get better, bro?
It's got to. I think it does. I think it turns the corner.
Bassett's got to figure out the little device he's got.
Okay, now we're going to go to the point of baseball that really makes me lose my shit with the new rules. Does he have to text a pitch into the frickin' Jansen? What do you got? Okay, the clock's coming here. Quick text, and then Guerrero's got to go get on his Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Did you say? Oh, what do we say? Oh, Bell out of the park. The guy gave up what? Did they tell that line in his first start? Guy gave up 7 runs and 40 pitches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's insane, guys. Like, and the other night he pitched good. Okay, and he's had 3 starts now, right?
Yep.
And he's what? He got 1 win?
Yeah. 2 quality starts somehow, though.
Okay, because you know what it is, though. I give him credit on that, is that maybe he's going to speed it up and he's going to be okay because he came from that Tampa Bay pitching tree, which usually turns out to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, did he stumble? Did he stumble his toe, or is he a little bit started? Because
I'm hoping he's just a little stumble.
He has pitched, what, 16 innings, right?
15 and a third.
Yeah.
So that means it's 5 innings every time out. And Steven, that makes me sick. You know that? He gets 5 innings, he gets $40 million.
Yeah, I know. He should be
it's
going
bullshit, man. You got these guys. You know what? I want to go back to them starting 4 pitchers, 40 starts a year.
Jesus.
That's what I want. That's what I grew up on. That's what I want. 4 pitchers. I want 40 starts a year. I'm paying you $40 million. You get your $40 million. Come on. You know what they're saying now? What did I say about the beginning of the year? It's a good season if Washington gets 60 starts out of Scherzer and
the Mets, you mean?
I mean the Mets, yeah.
Scherzer and Verlander.
And Verlander. And already they're going to miss it because Verlander's already missed what? His first 3 starts. He's pitching next week, I believe, I hear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, in any event, so the Blue Jays is like, are all these guys going to be there all season? I think they're the horses. Manoah's got the makeup to do it. Gozman's got the makeup to do it. Barrios has got the makeup to do it. And Bassett showed it last year. The only problem is
Kikuchi is a little...
Okay, and we got guys...
But no team likes their fifth starter at this point. Let's be real.
Well, that's why I say we should... But we had too many games in a row that we had to use our fifth starter. But anytime we get to do a skip, I think we should skip the Japanese guy. But, I mean, I don't know about
How many
Bassett.
times is that going to come up, though?
I don't know. We've already had a little break, but we had too many to start. So my take on it is this, to understand, because we're basically going to talk about just the Blue Jays today because we don't have a lot of time. So I'm telling you, my take on the Blue Jays is this. I really believe we're going to win the division.
Yeah.
I'm convinced after 15 games we can do it.
And to your point, the 60%, that would take them to 97 wins, which...
That's what I'm talking about. And 97 wins could win the division, I'm going to say, because I don't think the Yankees have enough pitching. For starters, okay?
No.
I think the real question here, and we haven't brought them up, and they're a real curious team to me, is the Baltimore Orioles. Because I think the Orioles can hit with the best of them already.
But they're lacking pitching, too.
Oh, they're pitching, and they brought up their kid, their star prospect, and did you see that, Steven? Boy, got smacked around.
Yeah.
He didn't look very good to start. So, but look at them already. They're 8-6. Same record as
I think they're going to be in a similar spot to where they were last year, kind of like hanging around the wild card. They might be able to sneak into that last spot, but
I think that Rushman is a legitimate already candidate for MVP.
oh yeah,
He's already a legitimate candidate. Like, this guy's the real deal. Like, #1 pick overall. The guy's just a beast. But like you said, their problem is I don't see where is their pitching. You know what I mean? And you have to have. I'm telling you, kid, this is how I look at it. Going back to my old Sparky Anderson setup is, Andrew, I don't mind if they go to 6 starters, which Tampa Bay is going to do. They're they're going to roll 6 starters. I don't agree with that. I agree with my 5 and keep your bullpen tight, because when you get to the playoffs, Tampa Bay has been to the playoffs the last 4 years. I think them and the Dodgers are the only team, right? Because Houston missed 1 year
Yeah,
and the Yankees
they did.
missed 1 year, okay? So they're the 2 teams that have the consecutive there. How many World Series did Tampa go to?
oh, one in that run, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 in that run. And what happened to them when they got to frickin' the World Series?
They crumbled.
Yeah.
And why did they crumble? Because they went to analytics. Remember Pull and Snell? That was beginning of the end.
Oh, that was the big mistake.
You know what I mean? And then the series there was Wheeler was pitching, that guy Wheeler, whatever his name is, and last year, and he got smacked because of analytics. So what tells me is this, is Tampa Bay is going to be a great front runner for the season, and once again, they're going to get there, and then, because the way they use their pitching.
But don't you think they're going to be like, they're bound to win a 1 World Series, though?
No.
No?
No.
Not one.
No. I don't think they're ever. I think they're always going to be there. They're going to be that good-looking girl that always waited too long for the guy, and then she ends up not getting the ride home. You know, she walked in, she's good-looking, she going home with somebody, but she.
I know, but like this is what we've said about hockey, though. You keep giving yourselves kicks at the can. Isn't that what you want?
Yes and no, but you eventually got to win. The other team won. They had their kicks. They did win. I don't see Tampa Bay, even with this historic start.
Wow.
If they're 500 at the All-Star break, don't be surprised. They're getting swept by the Blue Jays right now. I'm telling you right now. They just, look who they played, guys. They beat up on Washington, Boston, and Detroit. Okay, this is their first real team. They already got beaten out. If we sweep them, Steven, work with me here.
But the baseball playoffs, all you need to do is just get in there. If you got your pitchers hot at the right time.
But they're not, because they got too many. Who's the hot guy? They got one guy on the start and the rest. Okay, we're going to figure it out. Okay, we win now. We won the playoffs. We win the division. Let's just go like how we look at the Toronto Blue Jays. We make the playoffs. We've decided Bo Bichette is now a second baseman and Espinal's a shortstop, so we just switched those 2 guys
Wishful
over.
thinking, but okay.
Okay, I'm going to keep going to there as much as I can. And you notice that we've been trying to get Espinal in the lineup every day. Even though
his bat's kind of a...
Yeah, his bat hasn't been there. He I think got a hit and a walk last night, his bat. But that's because he hasn't been consistent in there. But okay, when we get there now we've made it to the playoffs. Okay, we've made it now. It's a week left in the season. Toronto's already won the division. We're setting up our rotation to start the playoffs. What is it going to be? It's going to be Manoah, Glassman, and hopefully Bassett. Or Manoah, Glassman, or that kid comes up. The lefty comes up from the minors.
For the Jays?
Yeah, what's his name? The kid that threw some, what's his name? Starts with a T.
Our playoff rotation would be Manoah, Gosman, Bassett, Barrios.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
but I'm saying a miracle happens. This kid comes up with the All-Star break like Manoah did come a couple years ago because they saved him on the contract.
Right.
What's his name? He was throwing 97, 102 in the minors, and he had a little bit of strain in his arm, and they sent him down to Syracuse or Buffalo or wherever they sent him to.
Buffalo now.
Buffalo, yeah. What's his name? It starts with a T.
Oh, Tiedemann?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So maybe he'll be in the mix by then. Never know. But they say they say he's got show stuff right now.
He's playing in New Hampshire. He's in Double-A right now.
Really?
They say he's gonna make the jump already,
Yeah.
and he's playing
Yeah.
pretty good, isn't he?
Uh,
Is his numbers okay? But I heard it's because he's got a faulty wing.
yeah. He's
but
he
he-
hasn't even
we'll see.
started yet this year.
Yeah, because they're going to wait to see. But I mean,
Okay,
if
yeah.
a guy like that came up, we got a couple guys in Buffalo, but that's what it's going to be. Who's Tampa's going to be saying? Who's Tampa's starter's going to be?
Well, they got
can't-
McClanahan and Rasmussen, who are both really strong.
Okay, so no doubt. And then after that, what are they going to have?
They have this Jeffrey Springs guy who's off to a fantastic start, too. So
But he's only had 2 starts, hasn't he? They already skipped him once. His last night was his 3rd start. Has he had
he
3
had 3
starts?
starts.
So they've only had 3 guys with 3 starts, though, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and the rest of the guys are all it's scattered. So yeah, you're right. I forgot about the Springs because I was looking at their numbers last night. So maybe that's their 3 going in, and they'll be
Maybe.
okay. They're going to be
They
better.
have
All-Star.
that. Oh my God, that guy who's always injured. I doubt he's going to be a factor too.
He's supposed to come back.
What's
yeah.
his name?
We're both deadheading on it. They talked about him last night. Buck was talking about if he comes back because he'll be a legit. He'll be like that. Then
Yeah.
they should be able to go to a legit festival.
Every year you're hearing about this guy, but he just can never stay healthy. I'm blanking on his
I'm
name
going to
right
say
now.
this. I'm saying that Tampa Bay will be a wild card, but they will not win the division. And I think that the Yankees are going to be hard pressed to make the playoffs. Can I say that right now?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
saying I'm going to say the Yankees are going to be hard pressed to make the playoffs. I really do. I think what's going to save
Tyler Glasnow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Glasnow. If he comes back, that's going to make that'll make it. Then they would have 4 legitimate starters with
Oh,
the
yeah.
spring kids if they go there, if they stay in line. But they really have a theory about that Japanese pitching rotation. Because
What do you
somebody went over there. In Japan, you only pitch, you have 6 guys, and you pitch only 1 every 7 days. It's something really weird. You know, like Otani came from
Yeah,
that
yeah.
school, and Rue came from that school. That's why it takes them a little bit longer to get tighter over here because they pitch a little bit more. And then they find out that when some of those guys come over here, they should be pitching more because they're that good. Like that guy right now that's tied up in Japan. He's got 1 more year to go. He's only 24. Have you heard about that kid? He pitched in the
baseball WBC.
yeah. What that guy? He was a star. Like he right behind Otani. He could have been their best pitcher, but we all know Otani. We don't know this kid. And he's
Unicorn.
23, 20 come over. What was he last year? He was undefeated or something stupid.
Holy.
I don't know, but
I forget the guy. Anyways, that guy's going to come over, but he only pitches every 6 days or like
yeah, once a week.
once a week kind of deal. And you know what? When you make the playoffs 4 years in a row, and you're a small market team, and you have trouble, you don't because there's no salary cap. You're always one of the lowest paid teams. You're one of the lowest.
The smallest
attendance.
baseball market. Yeah, yeah.
You get one of the lowest attendance. You don't have a big TV contract. Okay, in the most capitalistic sport of the big 4 in North America, and this is you could be your 5th year in a row making the playoffs.
Pretty incredible.
I'm saying so with this skanky ass pitching theory, which is winning. Because look at all the guys who read. Snell's around the league. I was looking up the other day. They brought up there's about 4 or 5 guys that are starting around the league that are out of the Tampa Bay system, and I will look that up for the next show because we'll probably be talking about Tampa Bay
Yes.
and the
A
Jays
little bit more.
all season. The only other thing before we wrap it up, because we don't have enough time to talk about all the baseball things we want to talk about, I do think that the Minnesota Twins are a sleeper team this year. If you look at their record last year and their starters, they had some injuries and they brought back. We will keep there. I want to be saying that.
Because Cleveland won the Central last year,
Exactly.
right?
I think Minnesota is going to be more of a. I think they're going to be more of a factor than people come to realize. Some of their young guys like Buxton and that they play some
Yep.
defense. I really like the way that they're looking. I'm not surprised at their start at all. They're one of the sleeper teams there. I don't know what's going to happen in the AL West. I think that the Houston, they've made some changes that might affect them in a way that they're like pitching wise.
Altuve's out for a bit too.
You got
Yeah.
it. Though. They're in flux, but I'm saying there's a whole season to go. They're going to bring it back, but I'm not going to call anybody out of there. I think DeGrom.
Texas is intriguing,
Oh,
though.
very intriguing. I'm going to say there. All the rest of the teams I don't know, but everyone's betting on Los Angeles to make the playoffs because this is the end of the line for that team, right?
I don't know. With them, it's always the same story, though. They always have like a pretty good start, but then by the time All-Star break rolls around, they're done.
Okay,
they start
well,
to fall back.
I'll
believe it when I see it.
We're gonna have a bigger baseball talk next week because we might have more NBA. We don't know about that, and we'll talk. And then we haven't really looked at the National League, which we will be doing as the season goes on. But
this is an AL show.
This is basically it for most of the time. But we're looking over at the NL as we're speaking. We're looking at the National League. It seems to be more of going to according to plan. When you look at the way it started out, Milwaukee is looking pretty good, and I think they're going to make their run for the year. The Dodgers are just settling the dust.
Mm-hmm. They got a really good run differential, though, which makes me think that they're plus 18, but they're 5.
Milwaukee?
The Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they got a great run differential. I noticed that, too. So that means, guess what? They've lost a couple games they shouldn't have or whatever. I think the dust is settled. They're always in the playoffs.
They're always a 100-win team.
Yeah. So they're just like, this time of the year, it's hard to get, what I get mean. But I'm going to another Sparky Anderson thing, Steven, that you got to know about, is that people forget this, and I believe in this axiom, and that's why this Tampa Bay-Toronto series is so important. I didn't disagree with we playing less games against the American League East. You know that, Andrew? Yeah. You know that we had the more balance. I don't like that. I wish we went back to the old way because it made it more intense. But what it has done, it has made that a win in April is just as good as a win in September.
Yep.
Exactly.
Agreed? So this is a huge series with tiebreaker implications down the road.
Oh, yeah, these division games are way more valuable now.
Way more valuable now. So coming in, and that's why I'm yelling sweep. Toronto Blue Jays to sweep the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week.
Rays,
not the Bucks. And Steven, as you will notice, I have a lot of time stumbling over names and teams. But anyways, we've talked a lot about what's going on in the other thing. Is there anything else you got to say, Andrew?
Yeah, so I had a little closing thought. I just want to pour one out for the end of Canada's premier sports talk show, Tim and Friends, came to an end this week.
I am so glad that we brought this up. I'm glad you did because we'll bring up my story at the end of the hockey thing.
Okay.
I really think that what happened, unfortunately, is it was the Tim and Sid show. And I'm not saying that Sid made the show or Tim made the show.
It was both of them together.
Yeah.
And the dynamic got broken, and it was never the same.
Yeah, Sid. Sid took the bag, whatever.
Okay, I can't knock about him, and he tries to bring up sports every time he can. Because my son says, I guess you guys might see the morning shows more than I do. I don't do mornings.
I don't watch breakfast television.
I'm not up at that
show,
time.
But
I don't get it. I think anything before 10 a.m. If you're not golfing, you shouldn't be awake. And I don't get up before 10 a.m. Oh, Steven, you know that I work afternoons.
Okay.
I don't get up before. If you see me up before 10 a.m., I'm usually swinging something.
Fair enough.
Other than that, I don't bother with mornings are for babies and mothers. Okay, and I try to make those cracks anymore. But that's a positive one, isn't it? But in any event, no, we're supposed to be talking about Tim and Friends. A huge shout out to those guys for all the years and the great entertainment that they have. And now we're going to have to realize that our number one purveyor.
Don't even say their name. Don't even say their name.
Okay, then we will not give them because the house that happens is going to bitch slap them to the curb one day. It's sad that we're in that position, though, eh?
It really is. Like I don't know if I was like a real day one with Tim and Sid, but like I remember 10 years ago, like when they were on radio, I was listening to them like every day.
They were that good. They got your attention. You know what I mean? They brought some energy to the show. They weren't afraid to criticize.
No.
That's what I really like. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, Steven? I'm finding we're not mentioning any names, and it's getting worse as the playoffs are getting closer, which we will delve into in our next part of Things to Go. But yeah, big shout out to Tim and Friends. I think Tim's coming back in another capacity.
He said he's going to be around, I think, on like Sportsnet Central. He'll like have his own segment or something. He'll be around on Sportsnet.
I hope he is because he's good. I liked him.
He's
you know
too
what I mean?
good.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. To lose somebody like that in this business doing what he does. Tim, if you're hearing from us, huge shout out from the house that happens.
Thank you for everything, Tim.
Very much so. In any event, I want to say that I had the brothers on the show today. Steven, you're not going anywhere. And you do know that even though we didn't hear enough from them, that we always, you will have a call back.
All right.
We do not have you on the show.
Well, we're not done yet.
And we're not done yet, so we're going to be going there. In any event, my name is Cruz. We always want to thank you for listening to The House That's Happening.
I'm Andrew Milani.
And we're out of here.